All right, welcome back. I greet you all. This is your boy Spiderwan, and you are vibing with. Today, I have something good for you. It's another day, and we want to continue with our HTML basic learning. Yeah, so today, as I'm telling you, with all the basic things in CS, HTML, we are going to be talking about our next topic for today. And our next topic for today, as you know, we'll be working on with HTML editors. That is the basic. Sorry, yesterday we did the introduction, and today we are moving in. And as you know, if I just bring a summary, we talk about the HTML, which is the hypertext markup language, sorry, and it's a standard markup language for creating web pages. We also said it describes the structure of a web page, and also it consists of a series of elements, and the elements tells the browser how to display the content. So with this element label pieces of content such as this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a link, and many more. We work with a sample code in which we did some small editing. When you watch my previous video, you will see the short code that I've just pasted yesterday, and I explained them. The doc type, which is the declaration, it defines that this document is an HTML5 document, and the curly bracket, the HTML element is the root element of what? An HTML page. And also the head is the element contains the meta information about the page. So let me just go there and then you see what I'm talking about. This is what we talk about, we learn about this, which is what? Declaration defines that this document is an HTML5 document. And this one indicates that the element is the root element of an HTML page. And this head is called, is element that contains meta information about the HTML page. So with the head, this shows the heading of the what? The page. And as you can see the title here, that is title. This one defines the element, it specifies a title for the HTML page, which is shown in the browser title bar or in the page tab. Now let's come to this. We have closed our head tag here. This is our opening head tag, and this is our closing head tag. So we come here, we have our opening title, and we have our close title. Close, yes, so this is the close one. So before you close it, you need to make sure that you type in the correct way like this. Now let's come to the body itself. Now when we type the body, this is telling us that it defines the document body and it's a container for all the visible content such as the headings, the paragraph, the images that you insert, the hyperlinks, the tables that you put inside. Now when we come to this one, we talk about it, which is the used to define what the headings. So we have the H1, H2, H3, H4 in that order. We have also this one which defines a paragraph. Now as we open the body here, you have to close it, and with the HTML you have to close it here. Now what is an HTML element? As we talk about it yesterday, so there's no need to even waste my time going there again. But we said the HTML element is defined by a start tag and some content, and also with an end tag. Yeah, so when you look at this, these are the HTML element. This is the start tag and this is the end tag. Yes, so before you open an HTML element tag information or content, you must bring an opening tag and bring a closing tag, and this is the tag name, which is the title, and this is also a tag name, the title, but this closes the content. Okay, so today I told you that we're going in for a basic another one, which is called the editors. Now maybe some of you, this is your first time of watching this video, and what you need to do is, before you can have learn HTML, you need to have something we call editors. That's HTML editors. And when we talk of the HTML editors, it is a simple text editor that is, you will need to learn HTML in it. Yeah, so we have like if you want to learn the HTML using the Notepad or text editor, we have web pages. Web pages can be created and modified by using the professional HTML editors. However, for learning HTML, we recommend a simple text editor like the Notepad for PC or a text edit for Mac. We also have the Sublime Text. That is what I am using currently. You can also install a VS Studio, that's Visual Studio. So V Studio, that's, as you can see, this is the Visual Studio here. I have it on my taskbar here. So when you come here and click on it, you get the Visual Studio. When you go online, you can download it. So we believe that using a simple text editor is a good way to learn the HTML. And follow the steps. Let's follow some steps here and see how we can get to do our Notepad. So before you want to do your first web page, like what I did in the previous video with your Notepad or the text edit, I told you that I'm using the Sublime Text, but I can still bring the Notepad here. I can still bring the Notepad. Yes, and it's still the same. It doesn't matter. This is the Notepad, and I can just copy my codes here, paste them inside here. When I put them here like this, I have to make sure that I save the file with the HTML extension. So now let's open our Notepad as I just did now. This is my Notepad that I've just opened, and Windows 8 or more, that is from Windows 8, Windows 7, and also Windows 7 is there. You can open them through the start menu, the Windows symbol at the bottom left on your screen. Then you type Notepad. For Windows 7 or earlier versions, you can open Start, go to Programs, you go to Accessories, and then you see Notepad. So, but if it is the Windows 8 or later one, you can open the start screen, that is the start menu, and then the start menu is just at the Windows symbol at the bottom left on your screen. Then you type Notepad, then it will appear for you to select. Now we have another step for maybe those who are using the Mac. When you open Finder, you go to Applications, and then you see Text Edit. Also change some preference to get the application to save files correctly. In Preference, you see Format, you choose Plain Text. Then under Open and Save, you see Open and Save. Check the box that says Display HTML file as HTML code instead of formatted text. Then you open a new document to place the code. Now step 2, let's start to write our code. Yeah, so before we start to write our code here, let me just clear this thing off here. For now we'll be using the Notepad. Maybe those of you who don't have the Sublime Text, you can still use the Notepad like this. Let's start by entering this code into our computer. Let's type this doc type, then you space, then you type HTML, then you close the bracket. Now you press enter and give a paragraph, then you open bracket, then you bring HTML, then you close, then you open another one for the body, then you type body, then you close it. Another one here, we are going to put the heading, and the heading, remember we say heading comes with H1, so you close it, then you start my first heading, then you bring the closing tag. You remember the closing tag is like this. Yes, so you bring H1, then you close the bracket. Now let's come and bring a paragraph. We are going to add paragraph to our web page, so we'll open the bracket and bring P, close it, then we continue my first paragraph. Then you bring full stop, then you close your tag with the tag name. Yes, so this is how it is. Now don't forget that we have body, we have the HTML on top and the body on top. So let's come down and close the body. So we are closing the body tag, then we come and close the HTML to declare that this is an HTML file, and also it will also indicate the content of the page. Now this is how it is. Now what we need to do here after doing this is that you need to save the HTML page. So before we save the file on your computer. So if you want to save it, you go to file. When you come to file here, you see save as. So when you go to save as in the notepad here, you click on it. Then let's remember in previous I saved my first HTML file on a piece on my desktop called my HTML. So I'll open my HTML folder here, then I'll come and clear this one and save it as index.html, or you can put htm or html is the same, and set the encoding to UTF-8. So this is the encoding, you let it be like that. So when you let it be like this, it is the preferred encoding for HTML file, so you leave it like that. Now you save as what? Then we come here and select all files, so meaning that we save as all files type. So for the file name, without bringing the HTML, it will not save as an HTML file. Yeah, so but when you save, it will come here and then give you something like this as a web page. But when you save in a normal, you still open it and it will come into your this thing, into your HTML, sorry, into your notepad. So now there's a tip that I want you to know. You can use either the HTML or the HTML as that's the .htm or .html as the file extension. And there is no difference. It is up to you to decide. So let's go to the step 4. After doing this, you click on save. Then when you save it, you minimize your work here. Let's open our web page. You come here and then let me just open my web page here. Sorry. Yeah, so this is let me just open it here, and then I'll open my where my folder is, then my file is, then I'll open it. I'll double click and open it. So you see, this is how it should display for you. It should display something like this. If you have not gotten something like this, so you see that the work that we have just done with this code, doc type is what? HTML. Then you see that the heading displays my first heading, which is this one, my first heading. Then my first paragraph, let me just change this caps to small. Okay, so let me save. Click Ctrl+S, then it will automatically save because you have already saved it. Now let's refresh our page and see. Okay, it has changed. So now what we need to do is you need to continue trying these codes, trying them, and then you'll be able to make familiar with the codes. Now let's look at some of the basic HTML like examples. So some HTML basics examples. So in this chapter, I will show you some basics HTML example. So don't worry if maybe we use tags that you have not learned about yet. So the HTML document, as we are talking about, all HTML documents must start with a document type declaration, which is something like this. As in our editor, we must have something like this, and this one must start with a document type, and it should be something like anytime you want to start with an HTML file, you need to bring this particular thing first. So let me just zoom in, then you see. You need to bring this thing. Now, with the HTML document itself, it begins with this too, with this one. That is, you open the bracket and bring HTML and ends with the closing tag, which is also this one. Yes, so this one goes with this. And then when you come to the body, the visible part of the HTML document is between the body and the closing body tag. So here, any information that you want to put, it should be between this one and this one. And now let's give the example as this is the example of the code as I just said. So as I talked earlier, the document or the doc type declaration, which is declaration, represents the document type, and it helps the browser to display a web page correctly. Yes, so without this, it cannot display the web page correctly. It must only appear once at the top of the page before any HTML tags. So you have to take note of that. The doc type declaration is not a case sensitive, so even if you type any, it doesn't matter with the case sensitive. So it also, the declaration for HTML, it also gives the declaration for HTML5, which is what the doc type. You bring the exclamation mark like this, then you go and then type doc, meaning document type, and then you bring the hypertext markup language, which is the HTML. And now when we look at the HTML headings, which is this one, the headings are defined with the h1 brackets with h1, and then you type your what, your heading name. So from h1, let's say we have this one. Before you go in, we have something like this, from h1 to this, and this one too. We'll look at, we have from h1 to h6 for the heading. So the h1 defines the most important heading, which is the first bold and light heading, and then the h6 defines the least important headings. So let me just put something like this, then we see how it will be. Instead of, let's say this is heading, let me just undo, and then my first heading. So let's take note of this one. Check here. As you can see here, my first heading is here. So when we refresh here, you see that it's like this. Now let's come and change the h1 to h2, and come and also change this one, the closing tag, to h2. Then we save our document, and when we save our document, we go to our web page and refresh it. Let's come to our web page here and refresh it. You see that it has reduced. It has reduced. Yes. So the same way, if you want to do the h3, which is the heading 3, it will still reduce. It is the h1 that is the large one. So we save it and then we refresh it. When we refresh it, you see that it has reduced again. Now let's try with the h6, the least heading, h6. We change here h6, then we save, Control S. So when you save it, you come and refresh your web page, and you see that now the heading has turned to small. Yeah, so this is how we change our headings. We open our tags and close it. So I'm sending it back to heading 1. Now I think with this we have done it, and let's move to the paragraph again. For the paragraph, what we need to do here is, there is no need to say P1 or P2 or P3. This one is just P to show that it's a paragraph. So HTML paragraph are defined with this symbol, as you can see it here, with this tag. So yes, this bracket with the P inside, and then you close it with this tag. Yes, before you can get the right results. So with this, we have my first paragraph. Now let's add another paragraph. Let's add another paragraph, and then we write this is another paragraph. So we close it, we close it like this. Sorry. When we close it, then we save it and come and then refresh our page and see. So we see that we have my first heading, my first paragraph. This is another paragraph. So let's assume that we are not bringing paragraph. Let me just remove this thing and remove this thing. Then we see the results. Let me save it. Then we see the results. Okay, so because there's a this thing, let me just bring it here. Then we see what will happen. Yeah, so meaning that the declaration, because we have this thing and the body has already closed, then there is no need to even bother. But we need to bring the quote between. Like this is another paragraph for the quote. So we close it with this P. Now we save it and we get our normal paragraph. Yes, if not, maybe as we are continuing to bring more pages or headings, then it can happen that your first or sentence will come and lie from here, but not under here. So now let's also look at the HTML links. We have the HTML links which are defined with this particular tag. Let me just come to the listen. Now we are going to add this one. We are going to add. Remember that everything that you are working in the HTML, it should be between the opening tag of the body and the closing tag of the body. So now we are going to type this distance. The HTML links always give with this particular symbol or tag. Yes. So we are going to put an example here, and the example should give us something like this. I'll just type the codes, and then at the end I'll explain them. So enter this code now into your editor, your text editor, and then yes. So let me guess. It has zoom. Okay. So you just enter this one. You enter this into your text editor. Let me just zoom out. Then we change this one to my school.com. So with this, the link destination is specified in the href. That is this one, we call it attribute. This particular thing is called an attribute. Yes, so the attributes are used to provide additional information about HTML elements. You will learn more about attributes in maybe a later chapter. So with this, let me just come here and put let me just say google.com. So we are adding link to our web page. So let's refresh and see. This is the link. So when we click on this link, it will take us to www.google.com. As you can see. Yeah, so let's assume that we are linking another website into our web page. So we are putting a link into that. So now we don't want to do this, but let me just put an example of something here. Let me just put some this thing, Leonardo.ai. Okay, so let me just put something. It's an AI used for email conversion. So let me just put that particular link, and then we see if it will take us to that place, Leonardo.ai. All right. Now we are removing this thing. The .com, because it's not a .com. Then we remove this. We bring up dot. Yes. So let me just bring www dot, then we save it. Now let's go and refresh our page here. Let's refresh our page. We're going back to refresh our page. Now let's click and see what will happen. It's still loading. It's still loading. So you see that it has taken us to Leonardo website, meaning that we have linked a website into our web page. So anybody who click on that web page, on that link, it will definitely refer the person to that place. So this is how we create a link using our HTML. Now we are going to the next, which is what? HTML images. So with the HTML images, we define with this. Let me come to the editor. Let me just give another space, and then we bring the HTML tag, which is something like this, img, then you close it. So the HTML images are defined with the image tag, the source file, that is src, the alternate text, and then we have the width and the height are provided as attributes. So I'm going to just give you another example of the code. Let me just come here. We enter here, space, then we bring the src equal to, then you bring, let me say there's an image on my PC, then I want to make a reference to that. Let me get some picture here and put it on the desktop. Then we see how we can, yes, we can link it. Now I'm just going to take this particular image out here, so, and change the name to Olamide. So now this is an image that I want to put, and the image type is JPG file. So when you are going to link and get an image into that, what you need to do now is you come and then type this code as we have just begin. Then you bring the image name. Remember, it is what? Olamide. And then you put dot JPEG because the image is JPEG. Then, sorry, there is no, you bring this code here. Then you come and bring this code. Then you continue, space, then you bring the alternate. And now we don't have, that is if we want to get the source of it. So we just put maybe from desktop. So then we close it. Sorry. Then we come and give a width, the width of it, which is, let me just put 104. Sorry. You bring this. Then you bring the code. Bring the code, and then you bring height, the height. Then you bring the equal sign and you quote. Then you bring 14. Let me keep 142. Okay, so you quote. You bring the quotation mark, the double quotation mark. Now, from here, we are going to close it. All right. So we save it and we minimize and refresh our page and see what will happen. Okay, it's not taking any effect. So let's say with this, I think there's a problem somewhere. Yes, there's a problem somewhere. So let me just come here, go back to my code. Let's go back. Okay, sorry. Desktop is not spelled correctly. Then I'll save it. Then refresh the page again. Okay, so still we are not getting it. let me just put the image in the folder. Let me put the image in the folder here. Then we put it here. I'm sorry, I didn't also bring the equal sign here. Now let me just save and refresh. Though I put in a folder, but let me just refresh. Okay, so you see that as I just linked the image, this code is telling us that, let me just go to the code and then explain it. We have made this the image source. So image source is, the name is Olamide dot and the type is JPEG. Then the alternate, or the alternate, that is, which shows that alternative text, which shows that where the file is on desktop, and the width of it is 104. The height is what? 142. So this is the image that we just uploaded into our system, our web page. So this is our image. Now let's see how to view the HTML source. Yes, have you ever seen maybe a web page and wonder, like something like this? Then you are wondering, seeing like where, hey, how did this, or how did they do this or that? So like what you need to do is, before you can view the HTML source code, you click Ctrl+U in an HTML page, or you right click on the page. Let me say something like this. Then you press Ctrl+U. You see that the source code has appeared here. That is how we get to know everything about the source code of it. So, and then, or you right click on the web page and select view source code. So let's come back here. You can right click like this and also click on something like this. Yes, and then it will show you the source code of the particular website, and this will open a new tab containing the HTML, as it has just done now with the HTML source code of the page. So we also have, if we want to inspect an HTML element, HTML elements, so before we inspect an HTML element, so we right click on an element or a blank area and choose inspect to see to see what elements are made up of. You will see both the HTML and the CSS. We are yet to learn CSS, so don't worry about that. You can also edit the HTML or the CSS on the fly in the elements or a style panel that opens. So we have this one as an exercise for you. Then you need to go and try it by yourself. So let's put the inspect. We right click like this, then we click on what? Inspect. Yes, so you see that these are the source codes. Then you get to know that these are, you see, you can inspect this particular, when you click here and inspect them. Yes, as we have just said earlier. So to see what elements are made up of, maybe both HTML and then all the other codes, it can come together. So this is I think we have learned a lot today, and we'll be tackling another one coming maybe in my next video, where we'll be tackling a lot of many things: the elements, the attributes, the headings, the paragraph styles, formatting, quotations, comments, colors, then CSS itself. Already we have learned with the links, the images, so we'll get to know more. We'll also insert tables into our web page. So let's save this one and continue next time when we come. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Please, but don't forget, that is all for today. But don't forget, you remember, with tech, the possibilities are endless. If you are enjoying this, in fact, hit that like button, share with your friends or your squad, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech vibes. Stay connected with Spiderwan. You vibe with me. Stay curious, stay tech savvy. Catch you on the next video. Yes, thank you very much. See you.